terrible.
You look beautiful.
I look crazy.
We both look crazy.
I was driving to go, and this lady stopped me. She's fundraising or looking for money. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You look like a doll." I was like, "Thanks." It's like, I don't have any money.
Look at, did you see this in your copy
Yeah,
too?
but I couldn't read her handwriting very well.
I figured out the first page and then was like, that's enough. I'm good now. I'll read it later. When I
kind of looked at the questions. They were kind of boring.
Well, yeah, because the ones are like, the first ones are like, have you ever been like an outsider?
Did you ever go to
an Ivy League
Yale?
school?
Oh.
But I think we could use some of these.
Okay.
Except for like, maybe not the stupid ones. Like, what are the differences between Alex and Darlington's childhoods? I don't fucking know. I wonder what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Hannah.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
And we're doing this again.
We're doing this again.
Even though, because of me, there is no
first one.
There will be by the time
this one happens.
Yeah, that's true. I hate editing. There was someone on Twitter who was like, am I the only one who likes editing? And I was like, yeah, man. Only you. I fucking hate it.
I edit on my phone like really fast, so.
I put them on my computer, I think, yesterday, so made it partially.
It happens.
It's, if it was like 1 hour long chunk, that would be better.
But it's like six
there's
videos.
like 4.
Yeah.
We had to stop. Anyway, in the last, or our first one, we
introduced our reading
selves and said that we read Ninth House. And now
we're going to talk about
has read Ninth House.
Ninth House.
We're going to talk about it. This will be a Morgan-led episode because I did not bring my book with me, nor did I take notes.
So first, let's give like, I mean, I assume if you're watching this, you have read Ninth House because we are just going to talk about spoilers. Mm-hmm. But just in case, let's give a little summary. Basically, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo is about Galaxy Stern, aka Alex, who is invited to join a secret society at Yale because she can see ghosts. And the secret society she's invited to join is the house that is kind of like the police. Like, they oversee the activities of these 8 ancient magical houses to make sure they're not like abusing their power, hurting the locals, or
killing people
basically.
Drugging people.
They do
a lot of shit.
Yeah. So obviously drama ensues, and that is where Ninth House leaves us, or
that's the drama.
Starts us.
All right.
So, do you want to say how you liked, like, how did you feel about the book in general?
I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's probably like a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say exactly. It wasn't a 5-star. It was a good introduction. I think. I hope it goes on for a couple books because I did really like the world, and I want to see more specifically from Darlington.
Yeah.
Because Alex, it was nice to see Alex grow throughout the book, but Darlington even in the flashbacks, he seemed more interesting, but I want to see, like, what happened to him after, or now that he's a demon and whatnot, but, some of the, I don't know, I don't like graphic things just for the sake of being graphic. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What stuff do you feel like was graphic for the sake of being graphic? Like all of it?
I would say all of it, but like the assault scenes were kind of rough, and I didn't like the scene where after her roommate gets drugged, she goes and drugs the guy and then makes him eat shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand the motivation behind it, and it makes sense, but it was gross, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I also feel like it's a 4. I think that I read it over a pretty long period of time because I started this in December, very end of December, and I didn't finish it until like the 10th of January. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. I think I would like it better if I read it, you know, a little bit more condensed. I also think there was like a lot in here that was pretty dark. I don't feel like it was... I think something that I was reading it, I was like, first of all, everybody said it was really boring, and I didn't think it was really boring.
I did not think it was boring.
Like, people were... I remember one specific criticism was that, like, it would be something happens and then 50 pages of nothing, and then something happens and then 50 pages of nothing. And for me, I was like, isn't that how stories work? Like, something happens and then
they would spend the 50 pages, like,
developing up to the next thing that would happen.
Or even, like, dealing with the first thing.
Right, like
I liked I feel like a lot of the stuff, like, went over my head. Like, that, library room or whatever. But it seemed really cool. Like, you ask really cool. It for something and it's like, here you go, bitch.
We have to be serious, like, specific, or else it, like, will freak out. But another thing is that people were describing the book as, like, extremely graphic and extremely dark, and for me it was dark, but I think that the descriptions of the things that would be triggering for people were so matter of fact. Like, it wasn't gratuitously described, in my opinion. The longer descriptions were left for the more beautiful things.
That's true.
Which is why I felt that though it was dark, and, like, obviously people should know before going in that there's, like, child sexual assault and forced eating of human feces, and also sexual assault, and, like, a lot of stuff, and, like, gore, and, like they cut open a body in like the first scene, but because it wasn't, like, lovingly described in, like, super detail, I didn't feel like it was too much for me, in my opinion. I also agree that I wish there was more Darlington, but I do like Alex more than him. Like, I never thought Darlington was more interesting. I just think that he is such a, like, an overhanging kind of, like, shadow over so much of the book that it felt a little bit like I was getting shortchanged, you know? I would have liked to know a little bit more about him. Yeah.
Well, then that makes sense, because Alex wouldn't have been able to develop as a character if he'd been there.
Yeah.
And I liked her
too much.
Yeah, I liked her more at the end of the book, but Darlington seemed more interesting to me.
Yeah. One thing that I was, like, a little, like, about was at the very end of the book when she figures out that Darlington is a demon, and it's Gentleman Demon. And she just kind of says, she's like, oh yeah, I figured it out, like, a couple weeks ago, but I never said anything, and also I'm just going to bring it up now.
I don't think she figured, it took her a while to figure it out. She figured
it out
a name
that day.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, she was like, oh, I've been sitting on this, I knew, but she was like,
I think for me, it was more like, I wish that we had had some realization in the moment with her, instead of just retroactively her being like, yeah, 2 hours ago, before the dean was killed, he said something to me, and it kind of sparked it. Like, I wish we had, like, seen that happen, instead of it just be like, oh, and here you go, Gentleman Demon, at the end, because it felt a little lazy that it wasn't, like, part of the story. But I think she's planning 7 books.
Oh, shit.
7. I think she's gonna do one, maybe, I mean, it would be 8, one for every house, but, like, I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, whatever. Speaking of the houses, I fucking loved the magic system in this.
It's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. What about it didn't you get?
I don't think there was enough description of it. I remember, I mean, not having my book and not taking notes, I remember the shapeshifters.
Yeah.
And the one who drugged Darlington. That made him really into Alex and try to, like, go up her skirt, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't remember which house they were, only that they were Portian.
I think those were the manuscript people, like the
maybe
illusion people. I really liked the magic. This is, like, kind of my favorite type of magic system, or magic school thing, where there's, like, kind of different paths of magic and they're not particularly the same. So, like, this type of magic isn't exactly the same as this one, but, like, with one different word that you swap out for every spell. You know what I mean? I really like, there's a lot of influence here, and that it's, like, kind of everyday magic, but also very, like, revered.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so fucking cool. I do think that they didn't really go into enough detail with the shape-shifting people, but I think they're going to come up in, like,
See, I feel like that was the only one that I actually retained. And that the one, like at the very beginning that Alex is watching.
The bones.
Yeah, I think they're like searching through his...
that's skull and bones.
Like intestines to see where they should invest shit or something. I did
write 2 sticky notes of things that I wanted to mark off. So I have one on the bottom that's a list of all the names of the houses, and then the top one says questions, symbols, foreshadowing, problematic themes, things I like, because I don't annotate things, so I needed reminders of what to note, and then I still barely wrote anything, so we love that. How do you feel about the supporting characters like Dawes and
I really like Dawes. I liked
what's his name, Turner?
Maybe the police. I thought he was
the police officer.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty cool. I liked them.
Yeah, I liked them too.
And it's like, as Alex grows and develops, her relationship with them develops, and we get to see more of them. And I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
And her and Turner trying to like, they equally like hate each other and like each other, and they're trying to outthink each other. And that I thought was an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. I thought that, like, it's really good. I mean, obviously the dynamic is, like, bad kid, like, good kid, and then, like, various iterations thereof. So it's, like, Alex, who, you know, she had a rough...
She did. That was
rough childhood.
Hard to...
And then working with, like, 3 different goody two-shoes. So Darlington, Dawes, and Tucker, or Turner.
I don't
remember
know
his name.
But
they each have, like, a different...
like lawful, neutral, chaotic.
Yeah. So like Darlington wants to be a hero.
Yeah.
And then Dawes is like, I'll do the good work, but I want to learn. And then Tucker Turner, still don't remember his name.
I think it's Turner.
You think it's Turner?
He's like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, it is Turner. But he's like generally on the side of good, but also just wants to keep his head down. And I think that like having all of those different dynamics was really working for me. Yeah. I also actually no, I didn't like the reveal about Daisy at the end being...
I thought it could have been better
whatever
explained,
her name is.
but I thought it was interesting because I told you before you had finished it when we were walking in the street that I thought it was the dean. And I mean, and part of it was, but that it was someone else who, I mean, she was a weird lady, but like that was a cool twist that I didn't expect.
Yeah, I do like that the whole book is kind of like the big fish, or whatever they're called, whatever the saying is they like taking advantage of the smaller people to come out on top no matter what, but then that also being bested by another bad thing was kind of cool. My biggest question was mostly, this is kind of stupid, but Daisy was like, you're a wheel walker. And I'm like, okay, where did she come up with that word? Did she come up with it, or did she hear it from somewhere? Because apparently there's like barely any people like Alex, and nobody knew about Daisy for the last 150 years. So like, did she just decide to call them that?
I don't know. I think,
like, I
feel like she would have.
I know they're going to do more research about it in the next book, so like I'm not that worried. But I was, as I was reading it, going like, where the fuck did this even come from?
Well, because couldn't Daisy see ghosts? Wasn't that why she was able to jump into her late...
Yes, she was like Alex.
So she might have like heard it 150 years ago, or she might have...
That's true.
I mean, she had 150 years to research whatever she wanted.
That's true.
And
what a bitch.
Was it that she could like absorb the souls and then keep living, or did she jump to a different body each time?
Would jump to a different body and
but then she said
like devour the soul of the person who lived in that body.
But she said
I guess not.
Because she said to, I can't remember his name, but she said to the bridegroom, like, you never paid attention to the help kind of thing, to be like, if you would have
Maybe.
paid more attention as a...
Because I was
Man.
assuming that she was jumping from body to body, but she did say that, like, it would, like, keep her young.
Yeah, because she wasn't going to go into Alex's body. She was just going to take her
That's
her
a good
essence.
point. What a bitch. She was interesting, though. I liked the little bit, like, that we got from her perspective, where it was, like, her not from her perspective, but she was, like, talking about, like...
Like, what happened? I don't know.
It was, like, when Alex... There was a couple chapters, there was like a page or two where Daisy was trying to eat Alex's soul, and then Alex did the thing where she was like, ghosts, come to me! Ah! And then Daisy, they like melded,
Okay.
and there's a couple of pages where it's like from Daisy's perspective, like Alex is Daisy. And she's like experiencing Daisy's life through her eyes.
I don't think she got a lot of it, though.
She didn't, but I thought it was cool. I think it was only a couple pages long, but I really liked it.
I feel like we should have talked about the beginning, too.
Oh.
We can go back. I don't know. I want to...
Talk about the beginning.
I guess...
What about the beginning do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What happens at the beginning? Let's see.
I remembered something we missed.
What? What did we miss?
The dead girl.
Tara. Let's talk about Tara.
Skipped her. We were just like, the end. Oh, they have somewhere.
Yeah.
We got food.
How
Instead
did
of wine this time, we're eating.
Yeah. How did you feel about Tara?
I liked how she like pulled it back like into her own past, so it wasn't just like, because Darlington was from her starting semester, or the beginning of the semester.
Yeah.
And then I think that was mine because I got
Yeah, you got food. Oh, that looks so fucking good. Should I show them?
Okay.
I'm a beauty guru. I'm like, you can't see it, but it's really good.
She got avocado.
I did.
Tara. So I liked how she could kind of use that to reference like her own past. But what I was gonna say, I don't understand like why, because I think it was Dawes who was like, there's a body. But I don't know why.
The what body? What?
That like, because I just flipped through your beginning tabs before you came back, but like that she knew about the body because Dawes told her.
Yeah.
I don't know why they called her.
I think they report...
I mean, it ended up being like a thing, and it was a good thing that she went. She wouldn't have figured it out anyways. But
I think because it happened on the night of what do they call them? Of a ritual, and because it was a murder that happened in the vicinity of the school, they always call in deaths. Just to make sure. So it just so happens that this one was.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Dawes a lot. I was surprised by how much I liked her because she really annoyed me at the beginning.
She wasn't really that annoying to me. I was okay with it.
I was like, do something.
She's working on her,
but you know,
thesis.
She went along with Alex when Alex needed her help. Alex does not know how to talk to people, so.
This is true.
She's smart though.
And I mean, it would have been, because really Darlington's chapters were focused on Alex, but he and Dawes had a relationship.
They're friends.
I know.
Yeah.
They lived together. She was like hardcore grieving when he was gone.
For sure.
So it would have been cool to be able to see like, oh, like he interacted with Dawes.
Yeah. I was like pissed when the dean like banned Darlington from coming back to his own house.
Oh yeah, that was so bizarre.
I was like, what a fucking asshole.
The whole thing.
I hated him from the first, but you know what? You did guess that he was going to be the bad guy. I didn't guess that he was going to be the bad guy until like the book itself starts like laying down the puzzle pieces. Oh, you didn't pick up on that. Yeah. I really liked it though. I will say, I think like the foreshadowing aspects of it were kind of weak.
Are we going back to what we were talking about, where it was like Darlington was like the bodies, and then Alex was like, now it's time to think about this time that I killed people.
Yeah, it was a little obvious at some points, but you know, it was cool. I really liked Alex. I think her backstory was really interesting, and
the whole thing with her mom was very odd.
What about her mom?
Like her mom, I mean,
I hated that. I mean, like, obviously it's the good friend thing to do, but the fact that her roommate like called her mom, I was like, oh, what a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it obviously,
I don't think she was that close with her roommates, but I mean, I guess there was times that we didn't get.
My thing personally was like, it takes one day with her mom to get her out of that apartment after she spent 3 weeks hiding there. Like, it's that easy. Yeah. I don't know. Was she not going to class?
I don't think so. But she talked to the dean before that. She was like, I want to pass my classes, and so she wasn't worried about it.
I mean, the dean was dead, though.
No.
Not yet. You're right.
That was
You're right.
End. I don't remember why she was sad.
She was sad because this was after she killed the guy who drugged her friend. You know what I mean? Mm-mm. She was like, the guy came into the ninth house and like tried to stab them all, and then Dawes hit him over the head with the statue. And she was sad because at the hospital, her and Dawes were like, so like, are they gonna get in trouble? And the dean was like, well. And so she was like, I can't fucking deal with people who say that they're trying to do the right thing, and then, you know, the people who have money, the people who have their families in high places, like, they're always gonna get ahead. Yeah. They're never gonna be punished for the things that they do, and the people like her are always gonna suffer for it. And she was like, I can't fucking deal with this right now. I'm a peace for a month and a half. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, 3 weeks is not a month and a half.
I know.
I was watching.
Okay.
It really just came back up. I didn't like the relationship with her mom, like, when she was at Yale.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when the mom was at Yale?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like the one day.
The one day, and her texting her and being like, just having to send pictures. So that was weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm not a parent, and my parent or my child did not experience, but she didn't, I don't know.
She wasn't really like acting like a mom.
No, she wasn't. And when she was going through all that, like, it made sense to me. I guess we were in Alex's head, so that helped, but it made sense the way, like, where she turned.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
I just think
her mom's response to it, like the changing the locks, like,
yeah,
calling the cops on her, having the scared straight thing was obviously not the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, her mom, like, it sucks that her mom, like, didn't act like a mom when she was at Yale, but her mom, like, basically gave up trying to be her parent when she was 11, you know? I also really liked Darlington's inner monologue when he realized, like, it's not all honorable, when she was like, you knew that you could get ghosts to go away, you've been tracking me since I was born.
Yeah.
And you've just let me suffer and be scared for so many years because you just keep your precious little rich people societies to yourself until you could use me. And he was like, oh shit.
I mean,
am I complicit?
Well, is it, I don't know. It seems like a lot to ask about. At least to put on, like, Darlington. Why would he?
No, I know, but, like, I like the kind of realization that the system wasn't all good. You know what I mean? I don't think he thought it was all good before.
No.
He was a little bit more aware than that. But still.
Where did she grow up? Was she from?
She's from LA.
Okay, so she did travel.
How do you feel about the way she killed those people, or like the build up to how she killed those people?
I don't know. It happened after the stuff with the bridegroom happened, so it was like less of a shock.
Yeah.
For like Hetty to go into her, I guess, but I mean, it seemed like people were just like laying on her couch, where it's like they didn't do anything to her, but might not have done. But I don't know. She didn't kill the guy who came to her hospital room and was like, "You're not gonna say anything." It was a lot to.
It was a lot to process. Definitely a lot to process.
Because there was a lot of build up for
like what happened that night.
Because it was like, I don't know, the catalyst for everything to like send her back there. So they built it up, and I was like, huh? I don't
understand why Helly decided to go back though.
I don't know.
Like, was it to protect Alex? Was Helly older than Alex by a couple of years?
I think so. Because the guy that Alex was living with was older than Alex, I think. They were close in age.
Yeah. Well, Len was like a teenager when he met Alex, and Alex was like 12. So, I mean, I'm glad she found some way to block out the ghosts.
Yeah.
But,
girl, I don't know.
But like basically drugging yourself for 7 years, kind of a lot. I mean, the writing was very good.
It was very good.
It was very well written.
She's a very good author.
Yeah. I think the chapters were a little long, but maybe that's just me.
You said they were like 10, I don't know, I didn't think they were that long.
I feel like the chapters were like 15 to 20 pages long. And it just, to me, felt like a lot.
So we went to Barnes & Noble together, bought the book, decided to read it. Pretty much for this. And I told you not to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, about your reading, because you did that. I didn't read Fix Her Up. But I haven't finished the All Souls trilogy. And
so bad.
True, but I'm not good with like pacing myself against other people, so I read it and finished it before you did, but I knew if you were like, I'm reading it, I would have been like, shit. Because I was already like, shit, I didn't finish it. So I had to finish it really fast, and then I got here and you had not read it, or finished it. But I think because I tried to read it so fast, it read very, very quickly for me.
Yeah.
Like you saying you could read like 100 pages like a week basically was all you could. I read half the book
in like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's what I did to finish it. I think I read like the second half in over the course. It was like the last 150 pages I read over the course of one day, like in 2 major chunks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of slow for me in that way. I think now that I've read it and I know the whole story, I'd be more inclined to sit down and read it all at once, because I did really like it.
Here's my phone. She's crooked, but it's okay. We'll see how much storage I have on my phone. I'm gonna say 2 minutes worth. So, we did get to finish the last one, but you can say your last thought, and then if we have time.
I love the pages in between the chapters where there are like excerpts from books within the universe of the societies. I love that. I love when there are like obviously fictional books that are nonfiction in the world of the book, or like, did I talk about this last time? I don't know, but like, or important literature, like maybe they are fiction, but they only exist within the universe of the book. Like, I love that. Middle Game does that too, and it's so fucking cool. And that's the only example I can think of right now, because it's the only other book that did that this year that I read, or like that I read in 2019 that did that.
Yeah. I started the book on audio, and then marked where I was, and then didn't finish it until. But I think
that I skipped when I was reading it. I think I just flipped past it. It was cooler to listen to it on audio, but I didn't read it.
So, like, if you're watching this and you're this far in, you've read it. But I loved the parts where it's, like, from the... And the fact that it was always an excerpt from, like, life in the... How did you say it? L-E-C-H-E. I said Lech House.
It was L-E-T-H-E. Lethe.
Maybe in my head it was Lech.
The audiobook said Lethe.
Didn't know that.
Or
Okay.
like no, it was Lethe.
Yeah, so it would be like excerpts from like life in the Lethe house, like rules of the ninth house, and then right underneath it was like from the private diary of whoever the Virgil or Dante was at the time. So they played off of each other, and it was like really fun. It was really cool, and I liked it so much. Those are some of my favorite parts of the book that were like not like major plot points. One question here is like, how does like a lot of the mottos of some of the houses are like death conquers all, or rich or poor, all are equal in death. And one of the questions is like, how did this stuff like play back into class within the novel? And I think that's an interesting question because Alex does demand that people be treated equally, like, not demand, but like she has expectations of fairness that she knows aren't going to be met.
I don't know. I feel like the guy who's opened at the beginning, she's like, I don't know if then or like later, she's like, I should check on this guy, but there's no follow-up. So I don't know if that's enough to say like, that she's making a difference.
Yeah. One of the questions is, if you were a dean at a campus, would you allow secret societies at your school?
I feel like real secret societies wouldn't tell people. Why would the dean know?
Because they get Yale funding, right? He's not like the dean of all of Yale. He's a dean that is like in charge of the societies, right?
I don't know. Not to my knowledge, but that would make sense why nobody cared when he died.
Then this one is actually interesting because it asks to compare and contrast Detective Turner and the bridegroom, and asks if either of them are true allies to Alex. And I had never thought of them as foils for each other, so that's kind of interesting, an idea to think about. Like,
how do you think they're foils?
Because they're both like
adult men who help Alex.
Yeah, but one's like firmly, I don't want to know about magic, and the other one is literally a ghost. So it's kind of interesting to see them, like, I don't know if they're actually foils for each other, but to see them like laid out next to each other in a question like that, it did make me think they do kind of play similar roles where Alex is asking them both to investigate for her, and then she still fucking does all of her shit without them anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd say neither of them are really true allies because both of them have so much of their own interest in mind.
I did like the bridegroom though.
I know, I liked the bridegroom too. I thought he was funny. Not funny, but fun.
a grand old time.
A grand old time. I do like the scene where Dawes kills Alex temporarily to meet him, and
all
like
that shit is so.
And it was so cool.
Dawes' magic was cool, like the milk bath and killing her, and doing something else when she was ill.
Yeah.
After she had like, I guess it was 2 attacks.
Yeah, the one where she gets the scarab beetles out of her. I think that you liked her because we actually saw the process, where a lot of the other magic, like, we really saw just the results, and then they were like, here's the process, and they didn't really show it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, it was really cool. I also really liked that it took Egyptian afterlife ideas instead of just doing, like, the boring old Christian heaven-hell thing. Like, we're over that.
Yeah, before my phone dies. I was gonna say, do we want to think of a book for next month? Since I guess this was our January.
Yeah, I really like the idea of doing like romance stuff though. Like I think this was fun to kick off. I think romance would be fun.
Okay, before we
them so much faster.
Before we go, do you think Darlington and Alex are gonna?
Oh, they're gonna fuck.
Their endgame. Oh,
they're gonna fuck. What book should we do next time?
I don't know.
Should we do Tessa Day or something? No, you've read that.
I have. I've read both of her series.
Okay, what's a romance that's coming out? Should we read that Penelope Douglas book? Credence?
Sure. We're gonna read Credence.
By Penelope Douglas. Chandler Ainsley.
I did watch her entire
You're a
reading
queen,
blog.
and I worship you. Not like Darlington worships Alex, but like emotionally, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that what we're gonna do?
Sure.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this long-winded, not really analysis.
I don't know if we really talked about
just discussion of things we liked in Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I hope you also liked Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo because it was a good fucking book, and everybody who DNF'd it on BookTube this year, y'all are fakes. Anyway,
You're basic.
we'll see you next time.
You're boring. Next time is gonna be a discussion.
Yeah, what are we gonna talk about next time?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe it'll be at my house one time.
TBD.
TBD.
Okay.